The second item we spent time discussing at yesterday's board meeting was the discussion of over school closure. As we've said before, school closures are never easy for just lots of different reasons. But we know that as we look at the $2.7 million deficit, we're going to have to look for solutions that allow us to focus on protecting people and programs. And with our enrollment, there is the capacity to reduce down one of our elementary campuses. Not yesterday, but the meeting prior began a more detailed discussion of over school closure. And during that context of that discussion, it became clear that when we looked at, for example, Four Peaks, it's our newest facility. So the idea of closing our newest facility just didn't make sense. When we looked at Desert Vista Elementary, it's our largest enrolled elementary school. So the idea of closing our largest enrolled elementary school just didn't make sense. We know that we are not in a position to close Cactus Canyon or the high school. And so it puts us in a spot where the two remaining options for school closures are Superstition Mountain Elementary School and Peralta Trail Elementary School. One of the interesting aspects at looking at a school closure is not only the savings that you capture, but also the cost that's incurred by closing a school. On the document that's posted on our website, you'll see some of those cost estimates, both in savings as well as potential liability and transportation. When I say transportation, there's an increased cost that we will absorb or have to absorb because of school closures. Regardless of whether the school closure is Peralta or Superstition Mountain, that will mean more transportation cost. On the document, you'll see that the estimated increase in transportation cost for the closure of Peralta and for the closure of Superstition Mountain. What I want to make sure you understand is that that estimation is based on the need to hire new drivers to capture the new routes necessary within the school closure. The current financial recommendation to the governing board as it relates to school closures is not to add new staffing, but to absorb those needed routes with our existing staff. So what that means is when you look at that document that references the cost for transportation, it references hiring new drivers, which gives an amount that it would cost us to close in transportation, to close Peralta or to close Smez. We currently are not expecting to need to hire the drivers. We'll absorb those routes on our own. So therefore the cost in transportation for Peralta, for example, is really at this point in time based on fuel, which you'll see in the document. And the cost for closing Superstition Mountain as it relates to transportation is in fuel, which you'll see in that document. I include all of it though because again I think it's important that the governing board have an opportunity to get all the information in order to make decisions. One of the things that is important is that we have community input and community discussion regarding the potential closure of both Peralta and Smez. The governing board has directed me to begin arranging community meetings. One community meeting would be to service the community of Superstition Mountain Elementary School, and a second meeting would be to service the community of Peralta Trail Elementary School. Those of you within those communities will receive notice from the district via mail regarding the date and time and location of the meetings. We're tentatively looking at that week in February. I believe it is the 9th. The week of the 9th, we would be looking at Tuesday the 10th and Wednesday the 11th. That's the tentative goal. If that changes, then obviously the notification that you receive will tell you the new date and time. But the idea is we're looking at those 2 days. We don't know yet whether the 10th will be for Superstition Mountain or Peralta. But again, just so you can start looking at your calendars, we're targeting both meetings to occur that week of the 9th, on one occurring on the Tuesday the 10th and then the second occurring on Wednesday the 11th. At those meetings, the governing board will be presented with rationale again for the reason of a school closure, and we'll speak about attendance boundaries and what impact that has on our district, as well as give opportunity for our community to provide input. Those meetings will not decide whether a school is closed or not. There will be no action item on the agenda regarding school closures. It's just an informational meeting. So I ask you again, if you have the opportunity, please come and participate and better understand the situation that we're in, the solutions we're pursuing, and provide input to the discussion in order to help the governing board make as informed decision as they can.